Yo me voy esa botella entera de un cuscús.
Of cause and effect states that for every effect, there's a definite cause. In turn,
No
for
sale
every cause,
rápido.
there's a definite
Una bolita ahí arriba.
Your thoughts,
Hay que romper la
behaviors, and
boquilla.
actions
Tú
create
sabes de eso,
specific
¿verdad?
effects that manifest and create your life as you know it today. You're tuning into the Cause and Effect podcast. We discuss society and culture the best way we know how.
More money.
We talking about money today.
Vamos a hablar de ese cuarto.
Yeah. More money, blow money, show money, party money, side hoe money, dope money, new clothes money from shit I wrote money. So much money I don't know who stole from me. Hard to
Yo,
keep track.
$600 a week was coming in, and niggas was looking rich on IG.
Feel me?
Niggas was taking trips.
Buying new cars.
They were using the monthly, the
There was
600 as
There was
monthly
a lot of new
payments.
cars bought during the pandemic.
Oh,
That's
stimulus,
crazy.
baby.
I saw a lot of temporary
Without
quakes.
money being pumped. You know, if we didn't know what to do with it, we need a new car. Even if we don't need a new car, we're gonna get a new car.
Yeah.
Word. There was dealers giving good deals. People wasn't buying like that, but
You know?
It was like people wouldn't give a fuck. Well, like you said, people thought that $600 was gonna keep coming in forever.
People got caught up in their hype.
sure, I really thought that shit
Niggas was
gonna
like-
come forever. Word.
La gente estaba
Estaban en el hype.
explotando esos cheques.
Chacho, como que va a seguir viniendo para siempre.
A lot of Gucci, a lot of Louis.
Can't forget the Prada. Woo!
Nah, women. I mean, not women. People were buying a lot of Off-White. Oh no, espérate. Salud. Que hoy es viernes.
No,
Hoy es
pero
viernes,
un
salud.
solocito ahí.
Eso nada más para que tope. Ya.
Todos los días viernes.
La vida de los vagos.
Deja que no oiga alguien de unemployment.
Ay. Like, have you been? Like, were you looking for a job this week? Yes. Nope. Yes. Or you in bed? No, I mean, chilling.
Yo, can you really be mad? They give us the answer to the test every week. So it's like we have to re-answer the questions
Like,
that
okay,
way. So
The
it's
same
like,
way. Oh, what's the reason for COVID?
You told us to.
COVID.
You know?
Oh my God.
We need it. We do need it.
Just in case you guys are wondering on unemployment, my name is Reyes Moras.
Whoa.
I'm gonna bleep that part for a fact. Fernando Guzman.
Oh, shots fired. What is that?
Rafi Madera.
Yo,
That's not his name. That's not his name.
He's not my name. No. That's great. Leave it like that.
Rafael Madera.
Oh,
we gotta go
we're gonna have to bleep all this. Hey,
Damn.
you're tuning into the Cause and Effect podcast, Season 1, Episode 4. We're talking about programming
And government
today.
names for what it looks like, right?
We're talking about money. Money. You know,
It's a song, man.
we in a silly mood right now. You know, we finished off the last episode talking about sexual experiences, and I know that some people want to be like, all right, from there to money, you know, there's a connection between all the topics we chose.
It's a childhood
because
season.
it's all programming, and money is a part of our childhood programming, right? We were taught to believe certain things. I was taught to believe money, you know, two things in my household was money, you gotta work for your money, and my mother was like, you ain't gonna die with your money. So it was like a pull and tug, like, I gotta save my money, but I also gotta spend my money because I might die tomorrow. So like it was like not knowing what was a right choice when it came to it. And at some point I just became so impulsive when it came to money. And so
You
private.
really
In a
thought you
sense, I
had
was
to
private.
spend it because you was gonna die the next day?
Not that I was gonna die the next day. I just thought that I just felt like paranoid, like having money. Like, you know, like imagine, you know, me, I was working since
Like if you save money, you lose it?
17, I was working in bodegas and I was getting cash. So if I have $500-$600 cash in my pocket, I felt like I had to get rid of it. It was like yo, I can explotarlo, like literally, like vamos gastarlo.
I can
And my dad
kinda-
would be like,
yeah.
yo, what you do with your money? You know, and está guardado. And I never show proof of that shit. Guardado. This nigga's watching me with brand new sneakers on. Y lo guardo.
En el closet.
Eso está explotado. and in all reality, growing up, you know, I get the point where you should have fun with your stuff. You should, you know, enjoy your money. That's necessary. But the fact that I had zero financial literacy and that I never ever like opened up to it, because I think that in my household there was a lot of argument about money. So I kind of like hated it. I could say that I also had resentment towards money too. Like, you know, when you see your parents argue about money, you also feel like you're not gonna blame them. You blame whatever they're fighting about. And to me, that was money sometimes. And I feel like money was never a conversation we would openly talk about. Just like sex. It wasn't like, oh, hey, let's talk about how much you make a week, you know? No.
I think the fundamental of financial education is just knowing where your money is going and how to distribute it. You know, we were never taught that. Especially me, like when I was growing up, when I was young, I think I must have been 6, 7 years old. My uncle, every Friday, he used to come with an envelope. And he used to have, I think, like $1 or $2. No, I'm lying. Yeah, anywhere between $3 to like $5. He used to have in a little envelope and give it to me. You know, it's a little like to put in my piggy bank. Mm-hmm. He used to come give me that. Sometimes my mom used to give me change sometimes to put in there. And that's how I learned about savings. So I was taught how to save from a young age. You know, and my mother used to always like encourage me and tell me like, man, I know you're gonna grow up to be a great saver. You're gonna grow up to be great with your money. And in my mind, I'm like, thank you. You know what I mean? That's encouraging, especially coming from a Latino household. You know what I mean? For me, that was great. But then as I started getting older and bills started coming in, nobody taught me how to like distribute my money. I was never taught how to distribute my money, like where to put it, how to spend it here and this and the third. So I went way over my head with certain expenses. I was living paycheck to paycheck for a long time, and for a long time I was terrible with my money. Until recent years is when I learned to like, okay, I definitely gotta sit down and know where my money is going. But I started off good, guys. And then I just got corrupted along the way.
But again, it's not only our household, because for example, we could have a household where they teach us some good principles about money. The problem is that we're also in the hood. The problem is that we're also into, you know, rap, and not to blame rap, but they show their money on. So you feel like for you to be, you look like money. For you to have money, you gotta look like money. You gotta have chains on. You gotta have this nice car. Yeah. You know, so we connected all that to money, and there was little bit of influence when it came to somebody saying, "Yo, that $100, split it. Enjoy your money, but do it responsibly." I think you said you used that word earlier, responsible. You know, behind the scenes, and that's what we weren't. We weren't responsible for our money. I think that it's important for us to understand that it's a tool, and it's gonna benefit not just us but generations to come. So, you know, a lot of things that I think about today is I don't know anything about my father's great-great-grandfather, right? Or, you know, who anybody past my father's father, I don't know anything about. I barely know any stories about my dad's father. You know what I mean? And I connect that also with relevancy with money. Like, if he would have taught something, or if he would have left something behind, there will be a story of he did something to break through. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My father will remember him because that's his father. Mm-hmm. It's his he loves him. I won't ever feel like I knew or had anything to say about that man because I never met him. Yeah. And the fact that he didn't leave anything behind for his legacy, I can't tell anybody and be like, yo, my grandfather, you know, invested in this land, and because of that, you know, we've been able to live, you know, a good life or whatever. I don't have a story. So I think about me, like, what am I going to be able to do to be able to, you know, exist outside of my, you know, age, way past 80, 90, 100. And that comes with what you do with your money today. And we don't get taught that in our Latino community. Like, I think that there's cultures that gift things that will carry on for generations because they understand how important it is. You know, and it's not so much about your name. It's about, you know, you being conscious to know that the person coming up next might not have somebody to teach them these things. So it's my responsibility to hand it over. There's people that give businesses away to their young kids. There's people that get gold. There's people that get things that accumulate value versus sneakers, toys, which is important in our childhood. But there's, again, should be some type of, hey.
Now we're hearing that from JC. Talking about he bought a picture that he's gonna leave to his children.
Paintings, invest in art, invest in this. You know, you start listening to this stuff and you say, all right. The problem is that we're behind because for us it's not normal to hear these things. So for me, it wasn't normal for me to hear things about splitting my money in envelopes and putting 10% here and putting a 20% there and saving for my taxes and make sure that my credit is up and accumulate debt that's
we aren't
healthy
taught to
debt.
think about that though, man. We just think about living for the moment, bro. Like
Exactly.
I got a paycheck right now. I'm gonna blow this right now. I'll make it back next week. I'll be all right.
Living
next
paycheck
week
to
I'll make it
paycheck.
back. A year goes by, you're still living like that. 10 years go by, you're still living like that. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, you want to retire, you're still living like that, boy. And it goes by like this. You never notice our parents. You know, my mother started like being more concerned about things like that like later on in her years. She was like, I gotta worry about this now because she spent a lot of her years not worrying about it. And not only, I'm using my mom as an example, you know, but a lot of our parents most likely do that shit too. Like, all of our parents for the most part. I'm pretty sure your dad, I'm pretty sure your mom too, maybe.
About to hit 60, and this is where he started planning his retirement at 58. You know, we should think that we're gonna live a long life, and we should be responsible enough to cater to our older self, because it's not just about the kids that are coming up after us. How old are you gonna be, you know, at 30 years from now, and would you be able to do the same thing you're doing today to make your money? And when you think about it, you're like, yo, at 60, I can't be pushing boxes the way I'm doing right now, even though the paycheck's good. You know, so that's where you start saying, well, I got 30 years. That might seem like a long time, but that can go fast depending on how I treat it. So, all right, start making calculations. If I put this money aside, if I invest, but even if you save money, you know, it's going to take a long time for you to see a lot see so it's all about putting into things that increase in value.
Especially if you're putting like penny to the side, like $10 a week,
$10 a week,
and then a bill comes up, an expected bill, you're like, damn, I need to get this money up. You touch your savings.
And I think that's inevitable. You know how we have like emergency funds? Emergencies are always going to come.
Yeah. Our emergency fund is a retirement plan for a lot of people. This is my retirement savings, but I need to get this bill out.
Yeah.
I think I need to go on this date,
emergency not savings, like our paycheck.
Yeah. You know what we should do? For the listeners, you know, since we're not financial advisors and we're not financial experts, we're still learning a lot of these things for ourselves. We will make sure we do our research and have somebody on the podcast that can give some ideas or can talk about some of their experiences with their investments or things that people can invest in to be able to, you know, just move forward in life. And I know that a lot of this information is free, but not a lot of you guys are going to go out and get the information. Not a lot of us even know where to pull that information right from some, like we don't know who we're listening to sometimes. So if somebody that trusts us, knows us, or, you know, likes our content, we're going to make sure that we, you know, on conversations that we might not be experts in, we're going to make sure we have somebody that can talk about their own experiences or things that they're doing for other people, you know. So like, in my household, my father's learning about certain things, and it's because of COVID-19. It's because of this pandemic. Yo, what are stocks? What are these people going crazy about?
Yeah, a lot of people going
what
crazy.
What are going crazy about that? You know, and you know, you got to be like, all right, you don't speak English now. I gotta translate it. I gotta educate my dad on this. But I feel happy that I'm able to do that because, like, before I'll talk to him about this and he'll be like, oh yeah, and it's just like, all right, but now he's actually listening. He's actually like, all right, but what can I do with this money that I'm getting? Because, you know, in my household, right, my father is a Dominican that believed I'm going to make sure I work. My wife is going to take care of the kids, right? So he worked, busted his ass. Forever grateful. I know what hard work is when I look at my dad. Definitely. But now that he's at an age where that hard work is limited because his body isn't the same it used to be, he's understanding that that's not something that's longevity.
Even though he moves faster than me and stronger than me for some reason.
Yeah, no, he's a workhorse, bro. My dad's a workhorse. It's just he's
when he's in the zone. He's in the zone. That's different.
Bam. I hate
when he comes down. Forget about it.
We work together and we're like, oh, hurry up! This and that. He's all the way over there, and we're like, son, like I am beat.
No,
Like,
no,
how
no.
did he
No,
do
listen,
it?
I'll complain about my knees, and my dad would be talking shit. The problem is that he'll have that like adrenaline, but when he'll come home and his body crashes, it just feels different. His recovery is a lot harsher on him than he was back in the day. Again, he's gonna have to be in bed for longer so you can, get the soreness, get rid of the soreness. So
He's older, but
So when he thinks about that, he's like, damn, it's like when you drink too much and then you're just tired of these hangovers and you're like, I can't, or your body just says, yo, you can't be doing this at 40. You got to relax. Again, you just start noticing the change in your body. And I know that he's at a place where he starts hearing retirement. He starts seeing technology. He's not tech savvy like that. So he's like, everything that's a job that can pay well requires me to learn this computer. And I'm not beat. So, recently an example is our own. Because of the pandemic, because of all these, business transferring their funds and people going bankrupt, people buying out other companies, his route was bought out by another company. So they were pushed to sell their route. He had a retirement plan, but that was cut short. So now he has to learn he has to make a right decision on what to do with his money that he's getting back for his route. It puts some pressure on you because now he's at this might be my last move to actually be able to enjoy the next 30 years, 40 years. And not only that, but I know that even though he talks about, when I die, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to be leaving things behind. Y'all might get this house or whatever. Like, you know how some parents be like, I didn't work hard just for you to enjoy it. And they think that you're going to blow all their money that they work hard for. Like, some parents think that you're going to mismanage it and not really take care of it. So they're going to spend it. Even though he says stuff like that, I know that he has plans on leaving something behind. That's pressure on you when you feel like, this might be my last chess move. Like, I got to make this shit count. Why get to that point when you're 21 and you're able to get access to this information? And it's just, we see it a lot more in our Latino community. There's plenty of people that might experience this that live in the hood, but when we talk about a general community, we're taught that money is a day-to-day thing. It shouldn't be a long-term thing. And we look at people that are ambitious as, people that love money, and loving money is a bad thing. El amor del dinero is the root of all evil. And they quote the Bible whenever it's convenient because a lot of people don't understand money and they have these negative, perspectives on it because of their childhood upbringing. Money in my household was always either an argument and it was only a pull and tug. Somebody being too frugal and then somebody being too loose with the money. So it wasn't a balance. It wasn't like I was able to see at least one person do like a unison, like they're spending the money. All right, no, it was just so it was up to me to figure it out, and I made many mistakes, as many of us in this table have. So I look at that shit and I'm just like, damn, man, like we gotta have this conversation on the podcast. I think that it's important for the person tuning in. It's good for us to talk about it because we learn as we talk about these things as well, and we reflect. But there's a lot of things that set us back so far back when it comes to money. I think that it's important for us to just, at least share some of our information, our experience, some of the things that we've been able to learn because we've been blessed. Yeah. We've been learning about housing, real estate market. We've been learning about stocks. Some of us are investing already in stocks. Some of us are already invested in houses. Like, that shit is big, bro. Like, I remember having this conversation with my dad and my mom, and they were like, yo, like, these people, man, they're getting houses so young. Like, this is great. And they were like, yo, they were talking about Fernando. They talked about my cousin and other people, like, just doing their thing. And they're like, yo, that's pretty fire. And I'm like, for real, I never really looked at it like that because it's becoming a little bit more and more common to see somebody buy a house within our age group. And I think that's amazing. And we want to keep encouraging that
it's
shit.
starting to become common again now because it's been common before. Like at the peak of the economy, you know, everything was beautiful and the like after the World War II and all that stuff, and then the baby boomers and all that stuff. They started buying houses.
You're into
the
your
whites.
history. You be looking at that stuff, right?
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
you be
I
tuning
love
in.
history. But
So-
yeah, like baby boomers came back from the war. They was just all buying houses, but mainly whites. For us Latinos, it's definitely brand new. Latinos and blacks is definitely brand new.
But again, there was many there was many people. But you know what's funny? When I told my dad some of this stuff, it's like it hits him now. When I'm like, yo, you know, you guys were blackballed before when it comes to buying houses, right? They were giving you guys scraps. Like they were giving the good real estate to the people that were white.
Because they wanted to keep us in a green
There was
line.
this redlining thing.
Yeah, the
Like,
redlining. Yeah.
there was this thing where there was like, you know, keep them over there, let them buy on that area. Don't let them come by over here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They'll judge your area code, your address.
Oh, your name. They
Or
go
your
based
name.
off your name and your history. If they see your name and your history and it's like a minority name, but they would like to label it, it's like, all right, we're gonna deny this loan. They'll deny our loan.
They'll deny a loan and they'll blame it on whatever. They can make up any rules. The rules are made. Like, look at what's going on in the stock right now. Like the you know, the AMC craze and all this other stuff. Like, they're regulating shit when they see that the people that are not supposed to make the money are making the money. Like, yo, too many of y'all motherfuckers making money. Stop that. And
they're getting tight.
people get,
Yo,
bro.
like, that's crazy.
But this is where I love the generation we're in right now, because it's just inevitable with the internet. You can be mad all you want and make all the regulations you want. They're gonna find a way to cut through that shit. You know, we as minorities always find a way, but it's important to keep telling people and keep informing people, because you know we come from the hood. We
As
come
minorities,
from the urban area.
We finding ways to bring light to the things that are messed up in the system, but at the same time, it's gonna take us forever to catch up.
It could, but because of this what's going on right now, man. Listen, man, there's
They
gonna
never
be a
know.
transfer of funds, bro. There's gonna be a transfer of money
But
where some
it's-
people are gonna go,
But
and
it's not
now
gonna-
y'all are the ones down the other side of the table.
But it's not all gonna go. Us Spanish people and black people, we still have a lot of catching up to do, man. And it's important for us to understand finances now, you know, because our parents, some of our parents, some of us were blessed with parents that taught us how to manage our money, but a lot of us weren't. And it's up to us to take it upon ourselves to educate ourselves, because if we don't, then who else is gonna, you know, move the culture forward? You know, at the end of the day, we
And
slacking on
that,
that.
and that's a big thing of what this platform wants to do.
Yeah.
Be able to push the culture forward. And if we are real with each other, money is the mover.
Yeah, it is.
Money
For everything.
is the mover for everything. Like,
Everything.
you want to make something be known. You want something to catch attention. Involve money in it and watch how it catches fire. Like,
You
it's
want to be a person that helps people?
You need
You need
money.
money.
you need money. Like, you could be the most caring person. You say, yo, I want to change the world and I want to give back. What are you going to give back if you got no money? You need to have money or somebody around you that has the money. And you know, be the brand and the ambassador, whatever, that can, you know, be the face of it. But somebody has to have the money. That's why, you know, we can go countless through countless things, starting from music to anything else, bro.
Yeah.
Podcasting itself. Like, you need to have money to be considered one of the top in your area, or fight your way up to the top. You need money. So if that's the common sense and we know this, then money is going to be in our conversations. Money should be in everybody's conversation. You know, there's people that don't talk about money in their dinner table, like, there's no money talk on the dinner table. Like, I felt like that was like, in my household, it was like, you can't do that shit in the house, period. Like, don't talk about money. Everybody was secret about how much money they had.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody
like,
secret about how much
like
money
my
they
mother,
make.
I never knew how, nigga. I just found out how much my pops was making a year. I was like, what? I was bugging out. I was like, wait, what the fuck?
I never understood the reason of that.
I think that they
I
think
still
that you're
don't.
gonna ask them for money. I really think that they just gonna be like, yo, at the thing de va pensar que yo soy rico. Like, my dad was making 6 figures, bro. Like, I was bugged out. I was like, oh shit. I thought you was making like 50 a year, 60 a year. You know what I mean? Like, that was the number for me, because I think that's what he would mention in his taxes. I think I might have to bleep this part, but nigga was making way more money.
You got unemployment. You got the IRS behind it. What's wrong with you, bro? You got the whole government after this shit. One episode.
Coming.
We put our government names on everything. You're already on it.
Shit.
Nah, man,
but you know, it comes to it makes you think, man. Like if I look at my dad saying, "Oh, you know, cuánto tú hiciste?" Like my dad would ask me little things about money, and I'll be like today he asked me how much money the Jordans I got cost, and I was like, dinero. You think I told him? And even if I didn't think it was a lot of money, but even if I think it's a lot of money, I don't know what he thinks is a lot of money, so I just be like, nada, dinero, and he just be mad about it.
But look at it from hindsight. How did you know, he was making 6 figures, but yet today he still has to worry about how he's gonna spend the rest of his life. You know what I mean? And even though
paycheck to paycheck,
a lot of us Spanish people, you know, we come into this country, we do better than our parents. We make we make 6 figures, some of us, and still living paycheck to paycheck because we just don't know how to manage
But
our
his
money.
dad's reason was because he wanted to be he actually was the head of household.
No, I understand
he
that
wanted
completely.
to be the person that, you know,
And you
provided
could
for everyone.
and you could be that and still have enough to freaking.
yo,
Very true.
Hell yeah.
6
Very
figures,
true.
bro.
Very
6
true.
figures could be
Hell yeah.
anywhere from 100,000 to who knows,
Very true.
900,000,
Bro.
whatever. But even if it's like 2K, let's say like 200 what?
200,000.
$200,000. Yeah, $200,000 a year, right?
Yeah,
Let's say that for example, that's enough money for you to raise your kids and your family and still have some money on the side for you to be able to do something with.
if you're smart, yeah.
Depending
like,
how you live,
again,
yeah.
you,
I mean,
you know, you
If he's been
bug
making,
out.
if he's
like,
been making that money for the last 15 years, I understand inflation, but 15 years ago inflation was a little lower than what it is today, way before the 08
no,
crash and
he
all
wasn't
that
making
stuff.
that money for 15
But
years. Because the thing is, I remember we went to DR, so like we cut that short. He worked before he was making that money. We moved, then he came back, and then it was like 8 years solid.
Still.
You know, but a lot of he knows where the money went. Like,
Yeah.
you know, he gambled. Like, there's just
But all of
many
us,
things
all of us
that
have
you
a lot
could
of.
have stopped from doing because of your habits and your beliefs in money. It kept you back.
That's a lot of us. That's the situation for a lot of us. Like our belief in money, the way that we
Yo,
carry ourselves.
shit,
I lost my money in a lot of raffles this pandemic.
bro. You know what fucked me up a lot?
It happens.
The idea that I'm gonna make that money again. That always fucks me.
Get that, and that's
It
what
always, I'd be like,
But
I got
then-
700, I got 1,000, I got 5,000. And I say, yo, I can make that money back because I made it. And that, my friend, will make you lose all your fucking money.
No, you
And
lose
have
Especially
to-
when you want something, that's when it comes to your
Oh
head.
my
No, if you,
God.
let's say if you get paid weekly, like a job, you get paid weekly $1,000 a month, a week, whatever, and you're like, I need this, I'm gonna spend it right now. It's gonna come back next week. I gotta work
Bro.
for it, but it's gonna come back next week, and that's what gets us comfortable.
Yo.
Yo,
we
and you
comfortable
know-
being uncomfortable because we don't want to be at work, but
know
we
what-
still work for it.
You know what that is? You're spending the money you haven't even made yet. Because you already
In many
said it. Like,
cases, yeah.
you're thinking about the money that's coming next week. So you're spending it because
Bro.
you know that's coming back. You're already spending what next week's check is coming.
How many people have you heard be like, oh, let me borrow so and so, I'll pay you when I get my income tax check. Like they're already
100.
spending
That's
that
it. It's
shit
over for that.
every year.
Over for that.
They spending
Yo,
that
I'm
shit.
putting 2 kids
I got 2 kids
as my
and
dependents. You
I'm
heard?
gonna get like,
Oh, yeah,
I'm gonna get like 10
dependence thing?
stacks. I got you when once that shit hits in, I got you.
Oh man, listen. I remember living in DR for a while, right? And I understood why some people out there looked at people that came from over here like they were rich. Niggas would come over there with their income tax money and ball the fuck out for a solid 15 days and come back over here. You'll never hear from them again, and then you'll come back and ball, and you'll be like, yo, este tigre viene cada como 6, 8 meses y gata $50,000 pesos aquí. It would be like, you know, $2,000, $3,000, and just ball out and leave. And people will be like, yo, viene. But when people started learning los trucos del income tax, they were like, oh, se vino con los cuartos de income tax. That shit started dying. But again, it was like this thing where it was like this big, like, una pantalla, this big facade.
Now with social media, they know too much. They even know the
Yeah.
600 we were getting from unemployment. Like people in
They
DR
ain't getting
now
no
caught on
money
to
over there in
everything.
DR from the government. They don't know how much we getting
How
from the
much
government.
we getting.
Yo,
Oh,
mándame algo esos 600 que te están mandando.
Yo, word. Yo, I heard some lady in the
What you talking
news like
about?
they got people over there getting $600 a week, and we don't get shit. I'm like, damn, how the fuck she know? Damn.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Information travels a lot quicker these days. But again, I just want to get back to the mindset. You know what I mean? Like, we live for the moment and spend it. That's why people that get the lottery, hit the lottery, some of them go broke because they go and do all the wildest things. They think that money is going to last them before they die, and they end up living way longer they thought they were going to live, and they don't have no money. And now you're old as fuck with no money. That's uncomfortable. You know, being old with no money, no, all jokes aside, it's costly.
I can believe, yeah.
You know, you're going to have health issues. You God forbid, you have to, you know, go through things, and you need treatments. You need, you know, special attendants, and you got to pay these people in the medical field, which is already expensive as fuck. Like, we got to think about care that we might not know we're going to need. We got to plan for these things. Have a, you know, invest in life insurance, buy, you know, a property that can, you know, sell later on, and you can collect money and use that as your retirement fund. Like, do you gotta think like that, because it's happening around us. Like, this isn't us just coming out and say, hey, we gotta preach about this, and it's about our families that we've been seeing, our friends telling us these stories, and we're saying, fuck, that's really going on right now. Like, niggas really losing their houses, their jobs. They don't have no plan. They're spending the money still that they're getting over here. There's some people that have said, yo, I accumulated over $20,000 of this money the government gave me. And today, they probably don't have that money anymore. Some people tell me that that's it. They spent it. They did home repairs. They did this. You know, some were smart, some weren't. And again, it's a moment where we got to look back and say, where does this come from? It comes from our programming. It comes from what we're taught. So how do we unlearn these things? We'll plug into the people that have money. Today, a lot of people online look like they got money. You got to also be resourceful enough and be careful, because there's a lot of people that are selling these dreams on YouTube. You invest your money here and do this and buy my course. No. We're not saying go buy courses. We're saying go and look into the things that are tangible, like houses, that are like stocks, that you can't have like this paranoia, like, oh, they're gonna steal my money, when there's many people that are proven millionaires through those systems, stocks, real estate, and etc. So those are the things that we want to just keep like pushing, because we're becoming familiar with these things now, this generation. You know, my father is about to be 60. So for all those years, that information wasn't in my family. You know what I mean? I'm the one bringing that information in my family. My cousin is bringing that information into my family. So another thing, you got to be a person that goes out and be curious about what's out there, because if somebody isn't bringing that into your household and in your circle, there should be somebody doing that. Going out, fetching information. Let's talk about this. Yo, I heard this. Let's talk about this. Yo, y'all guys heard about this new tech that's out here?
And if not, set by example and do what you gotta do, and let them see it for themselves. If they can, If something doesn't work, just do it and come out. You pull up and you. I mean, you show them that you're doing better one way or another financially. They're gonna be like, "What the heck are you doing?"
Yeah. And I think about Ray. You know, you did the video. We had him as a guest. We should have him back on here and talk about some of the things, because he's been doing some great things online.
A lot of changes after the last time he was here.
And again, he's one of those examples of guests that have come here before they made those moves that they made today, and they're walking testaments of doing what they say they're gonna do, because he's doing it.
Moves.
You only have
moves
one
also.
store.
Moves make some moves.
Yeah. You know, Juju, like all these people are people that have come on this podcast, you know, shared some great gems, talked about their dreams, their ideas, their things that they're working on, and have kept on growing and adapting and adjusting to what's going on right now, and progressing. You know, all that stuff is admirable, it's inspiring, and it's what more of us should be highlighting, you know, to be able to keep pushing our culture forward. Because, you know, what are some of the beliefs you guys grew up with when it comes to money? Outside of, you know, money doesn't grow on trees and you gotta go to school and get a good job.
When Rafi was talking, I remember also that my godfather got me into the whole saving thing. I remember having a few little piggy banks, which back then was was like a can with the little hole in the top.
Yep.
They used to give you that at the banks and shit. So I used to have a lot of those.
They look like the Goya cans.
Yeah, but it was different because it was I remember having it from a bank. So I remember having those when I was very small. Then when I came here, I used to do that, but it kind of changed because my whole lifestyle changed. So it wasn't more like when I was in DR, I used to have a savings and I used to get everything I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I came here, it was a little bit more of a struggle. So it was more like when I had a saving, I couldn't get what I wanted, so I had to pick from my savings to go buy all the little junk food or whatever, whatever you wanted that you was a kid that you was into. Yeah. And there was times where when I got older, there was a couple of times in the summer that I would get a job, whether it was with my grandfather or maybe babysitting or doing whatever, and then I would get paid and it's like, I'm going to buy some sneakers with this. And then my mom would be like, oh, no, but save it. And I was like, hell no. Because I knew what was going to happen with that. Like, I knew that a bill was going to come up and she probably wasn't going to be able, and this might sound like a, like a
young,
dick, like a
you're
dick
young,
move.
you're selfish. You got to be young and selfish. We
I
all
was
young
like
and selfish.
14, like, 14, 15, and 13, 15, 14, something like that. I remember being like, nah, like, in my head, like, if I save this, she's not going to be able to pay something. And I'm going to have to give her that. So it's either like I give my sneakers now or it just won't get shit ever. And it sounds fucked up. But as a kid, technically because I was still a kid, like those are the things that you want. Like you want the better sneaker. You want maybe the best jacket or whatever. Because at school, that's all we had. Like
trying to press the bitches.
No, like I just
Try not to get picked on, nigga. Try not to get picked on. Like, nigga, what the fuck you mean?
These
like
niggas
we
said
was
it.
already.
Y'all
like,
know what it is. Y'all was like, yo,
yeah, we don't
ain't
have
trying to
brothers.
get bullied.
Well, you have a brother, but
But
I didn't have a brother. Like,
I ain't have an older brother.
But you had sisters, so they had to respect you
Shit.
because they wanted to date your sisters. So it was still the same shit.
Nah.
Joe, am I lying?
In DR, you're right. No, here it wasn't like that because nobody knew who my sisters were. Nigga,
please.
over here the system is different. You gotta remember, in
Everybody
school,
was after your sisters,
man.
bro.
Nobody knew them. Nobody, bro. We were in high school when they
used
were
to
in high
ask
school.
me for your sisters, so I know that, and I wasn't even a brother.
Shit, no, man. When I was in school 5, nobody knew who my sisters were. They were in grammar school. When they went to high school, they didn't get to do high school over here. They went to DR. When I was in grammar school, I was in DR. They were in high school in DR. So we were in the same building. Everybody knew who we were. Yeah. So yeah, the kids saw, she got a young brother. She's in my class, but I need to get cool with the bro. So he can introduce me to the sis. I experienced that a lot. And I used to exploit that shit a lot. Like, yo, cómprame un par de vainas ahí en la barrita y lo que y mándame un par de paletas y yo se lo doy a la hermana mía. And I'll be like, I'll give my sister, this dude gave you some candy. And now
le gustaba la paleta, you heard?
No, I never got paletas for me.
Paleta.
Y'all niggas like that shit. I said, nah. I never really cared for it. But they have those little, what is it? Los bolones, los rojos. This shit was lit. This shit was lit.
Okay, this is another off-topic shit. But it's like, yo, don't you remember how terrible this shit used to be? Like when we was in DR and then people, like girls would just like snap that shit out your mouth and put it in their mouth and then give it to another girl and then give it back to you. Yo, I remember how.
No, I didn't care about that.
Dude,
I hated the feeling of getting that yanked
teeth,
out of your mouth.
I
would get so fucking tight, yo.
No, that was painful. But I still, now thinking about that, it's like, bro, like that shit was wild though, because you didn't know whose lollipop they actually had before
bro,
that.
If she was giving her if she was grabbing your lollipop, putting it in her mouth and give it to a homegirl, that's a threesome.
I consider that too. Now you looking back at it?
Yeah, I remember.
Is that a threesome?
I think so.
Hey man, I think she's inviting you to a threesome.
yo,
Catch on to these shits now, man.
It used to be freaky. It used to be freaky shit going on with that. It's like, bruh, I don't know. Like, what are we doing? Like, we going back here in the dark?
Fernando was scared to take that paleta back. Like, y'all want to keep that shit?
I keep that. I got another one in my pocket.
Take that shit right out. Like,
Yeah,
and they were all the whole time they're over here saying like, "Yo, we down."
I remember I did that shit, and then the second I put it in my mouth, they get whoop again. I'm like, coño,
Fernando, te estaban invitando.
I'm gonna have to buy. I'm gonna start buying gum and shit now.
Fernando didn't care. That shit went over our heads.
They went over my head. Right?
Yeah, them girls. I'm telling you, girls.
I know there's mad people right now like these motherfuckers.
Hey man, there's a lot of girls that just be ahead of their time. You feel me? They experience a lot more.
Yo.
They be ready.
Word. But going back to the actual topic, you know, as I got older, you know, I had more responsibility. You know, single mom, had to help her once I started working. I think my first job was at Circus City.
Oh yeah.
Circus City.
Damn. Does that exist?
No.
No, it doesn't exist.
No.
Supposedly online, but whatever. The point was that I started working during like Christmas, and believe it or not, dude, like 2 or 3 times I got $100 tips for no damn reason. Only because I knew how to put people's back seats down to be able to put a TV in there where like it wouldn't tilt, and they were like amazed by that. That shit is crazy, yo. But you know that job helped me to see more money because I didn't know like I could get paid so much money, and my mother was getting scared about that because she was like, "All right, this dude's getting money. He might not want to go to school anymore." But it was never a thought to me.
Yo,
but I
why
remember
is
her
that?
bringing that up a lot. Like, oh, just because you're getting this, because I would be excited. Like, oh, mom, like I made 100 and something just of tips. Wait till I get paid. Like, you know what I'm saying? And she would hear that. And she would always have like a serious mood. Like, oh, but remember, you're nobody if you don't go to school. And you like, I always got the same. It always came back to the same thing. Like,
Do you feel like that like? Do you feel like that's required for you to feel like you're successful today?
What?
For you personally? Like, do you feel like, you know, hearing that a lot, do you feel like you didn't become, like you can't be, you're not successful because you didn't finish college or whatnot?
I don't feel like I'm not, but I feel like my family didn't but they appreciate me for me, but I don't feel like they probably appreciate what I did and what I accomplished with what I done.
Do you think that they'd be like, oh, there's so much potential he's not fulfilling?
No, I feel like, well, maybe, I don't know if that's what they think, but I really don't know. But I feel like there was like another side of the family, which is the same family, but like another side of my cousins, stuff like that. They all went to school. They all graduated. They all went to college, graduated from college, became teachers, and, you know, have their own professional careers. And I feel like, oh, they always got praise. Oh, like this person, you know, they were honor roll student. You know, their college is being paid for. They're able to, you know, stay there or whatever this and that. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, that's great. Like, you know, and I always praise them for that because, you know, I know to me that I don't like that. Like, no, not that I don't like that, but like school's not for me. Like the college thing wasn't for me. I tried it and it wasn't for me. So it's like actually them going through it. It's like, oh, that's cool because, you know, I can't do that.
Yeah, I feel the same way with people around me.
But then it's like I feel like they said it in a way where it's like you see what they doing? Like you know what I'm saying? Like you could have been something, like you could be something else if you do that. But I don't know. Like I feel like everybody's thing. You know, everybody has their own thing, and you know, obviously my thing wasn't school. You know, my thing is what I do now, and you know. Whatever, like I'll have a plan and I'll have whatever it is to do in the future, but you know that wasn't my thing. And crazy thing is that it just I sound like this because it gets to me in a way because it's like I had a conversation with my family like 3 days ago actually, where it's like, you know, there's some issues happening. I'm like, oh, you see, where you guys always used to say that. Technically, like you guys used to say like, oh, these people and these people are like this because of this and that, but that doesn't make you who you are. Like, you don't have to do good at school or be professional or anything just to become a great person in life. Like, you know, you learn that from experience. That comes from within you, like the person that you're grown to be. Like, you going to college and you being this educated, quote unquote, person or whatever, it's not going to make you a better person or make you someone that may, like, I don't know, like, but whatever, I don't know. But it's just, it gets to me because it's like, bro, like, I done a lot of stuff, and me and my mom went through a lot of shit that, I feel like it made me who I am today, and I feel like I am a great person. And I feel like, I can acknowledge and I could appreciate the people that have been there for me.
Mm-hmm. But it's still,
in that
I
time.
get what you're saying, though. It's still annoying, though. Like, just because they made it one way.
Yeah.
I guess that's our parents, though. They come here, they think the school is everything. They don't keep up with what the heck is going on in current times and how things are changing, how finances are fluctuating. And now it's not only school. You don't have to go to school. A lot of people say you don't need to go to school to be a millionaire, to be successful in life. There's many other ways to make it nowadays, especially with technology and the way the workforce is coming along and stuff like that.
I got a little emotional there, but it's
No,
just
it's
like,
important.
I feel like if
I
I gone through that shit, like, I feel like a lot of people also gone through
I've been through that shit too. The comparison.
Yeah, like it
this,
feels like you're not good enough because, like, come on, man. Like, you feel me? Like,
we're talking about titles at this point. Like, they wanted you to have a title. And the only reason why some families have these things is because they want to brag and they feel like they have something to show to somebody else. It's not for your own interest sometimes. It's not about you, because they don't know what what comes with you, going to college. The fact that you go in debt and you get out and you have this, good paying job that's made to pay off this $180,000, $50,000, $60,000
they don't look at the debt. They don't look at the debt. They look at the
because they don't
degree.
carry that debt.
Yeah.
You know what I did one time, and I'm gonna share this on here because I remember having this conversation with my parents, and that's when I started doing network marketing. And my mom and dad were like, "Yo, but you gotta keep going to school," because at the time I was going to school. Yo, I was in class, bro, that month, and I remember that I was gonna get my student loan, financial aid taken away because I had failed math, and they were giving me all this pushback, like, oh, you got to do good in this class and whatever. The teacher that I had that day, she's also an advisor, and she advises people on what decisions they should make, and it kind of helps you trying to find your career. And she had like a breakdown. I don't know what she was going through, but she got on top of it. She sat on the table. She sat on her desk, and she said, I don't know about what your dreams are in this classroom. And I remember like it was yesterday. But, if you're here to make money, you're in the wrong place. And when she said that, I felt like God was talking to me, because I was about to have to make a decision and get into loans, because without financial aid, I was going to have to pay $3,000, I think it was, for each semester or class or something like that. It was a lot of money. It was like $9,000 I was going to have to pay every time. And that was my first year. So I know I was going to accumulate like $20,000 or $30,000 in debt. And unless I got better and got my grades back and got my financial aid back. But besides that, when she said that, I was like, oh, shit. And then she said, if you're here to be an employee and to live a decent life, then you can find that here. But if you want to make a lot of money, you're in the wrong place. When she said that, I swear to you, I never came back. I never went back. I never went back to PCC.
I wonder what even made her say that.
You know what it was? I feel like she was going through something, because I remember her her going pacing back and forth. Like, I don't know if she had realized, like, this shit isn't life. Like, I think that she was working there in the community college, and then she was going to two different
Maybe she was home.
jobs, and I think that she was just like in a moment in her life. And she felt like she needed to give something to somebody that maybe could save themselves from whatever she felt like she made at a young age. Like, yo, if you're here, if you're thinking about starting your own business or doing something to make money, go out and do it. You're not finding that shit here. Maybe sometimes the curriculums that they get, they gotta follow certain curriculums. They gotta teach people these things so they can make sure that they accumulate these points. And some of the things that they want to teach, some teachers want to teach things that they believe are way more important than what they're told they have to teach. And because the school and because of conflict of interest and all that, they might not be able to do that. And they get frustrated. They feel like they're being held back as well. So I say that because at that time I'm talking to my parents, and I remember, them saying, but you got to go to school. And I said, all right, I'll go to school if y'all take on the debt that I got to take on to go to school. And I promise you, they both looked at each other and said, I'm like, are y'all going to pay for this loan? Because if y'all going to pay for this loan, I'll go to school tomorrow. But if I'm going to pay for this loan, I make a decision if I'm going to get in $30,000 in debt, and I'm not doing it. $50,000 in debt, I'm not doing it. Because after that community college, I was gonna have to go to a 4-year university. So that was gonna come with a whole nother different, battle. And I'm not an A student, so I know.
I mean,
for
even
a
if
fact,
you're
I
a
wasn't
student, it was
I wasn't
still
gonna
come off
pull
some
off.
money.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pull off all these scholarships and all these programs that these kids was doing. Like, no, I
Dude,
wasn't
even
about
if
that
you're
life.
even if you're a student and you have to do that, I know because I have cousins that went through that, and they're still paying loans.
Yeah.
And we're talking about like there were like in all the they qualify for all of these programs that paid for a lot of their stuff, but there's still more fees because college is expensive.
Yes.
It's very expensive.
So like that's an investment. If you want to make an investment in yourself and go to college, do it. You're taking on that risk. I didn't see the value in that because I was looking at something.
yeah, and not
else.
everybody, we're not saying that it's not, the school
Yeah.
is no, it's just
School is needed, but
it's definitely needed. It's just,
not for everybody.
to me, college is just for certain people that, everybody here was born for a reason. Obviously, we need janitors, we need doctors, we need nurses, we need mechanics. Like, we need people that know how to do nails. We need people that know how to give haircuts. Like, everybody has a purpose.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's just not mine.
Yeah. So,
Like, you
but
feel me? Like
look at it
that-
like this. Look at it like this, right? We say this, but one thing we fail to say is that we're also programmed to fall in line with the box that's given to us. Now, school is needed, I think, to a certain age, because now there's so many people that are self-taught. There's just so many different things today that what was made the norm, what was society's structure, is who's to say that can change? That's not going to change tomorrow. You know what I mean? So like, don't close your mind up and get used to what it was. Oh, it was like this before. How many stories do we hear about? Oh, but back in my day, it's not your day no more. It's today. And more, if we keep on going back to the past for guidance, the history is important, but it's to learn from it, to be able to make different choices. And maybe another future. So if we see that this cycle that we're in right now is not it, it's up to us to change that. So in our generation, today we're able to see the both sides. We grew up without internet and we have it today. A lot of these kids are growing up with internet. So they're able to get into so much more than we were even we ever imagined. So who are we to tell people you can't do this, you can't do that? Like, I'll be damned if my kids have people around them like friends of mine or family that give them limited beliefs. You're cut off, bro. If you come in with that energy and around my kids are gonna believe that anything is possible, and they're gonna be taught accordingly. They're gonna need education, but there's no ceiling on them. There's no ceiling until they figure out what their gift is. Don't put a ceiling and put a label on my kid. You know what I'm saying? I won't do that. So, do you want to pause because of that light? Or?
You're about to wrap it up, right?
So,
We're good.
it's important for us to look at history. It's important for us to look at our programming, what our roots are, learn from them, embrace them. We're supposed to learn from our mistakes. We're supposed to learn from things that, cause pain in the areas in our life. But it's not for us to keep repeating the cycle.
Yeah.
Our point here is to push the culture forward. We're here to bring awareness. We're here to have a conversation about shit we find that's important, and and develop, another way, for other people to be able to say, yo, my family looks at me like a failure, but these guys went through that, but they don't let that determine or label them as a failure, because they understand that it's not about the title of an education. They understand it's about being a good person. It's understanding about saving your money. It's understanding you have to understand that whatever route you chose, if you're happy with it, be happy. Don't let society tell you you shouldn't be. You should be this and you should be that. If you feel like you want to go to school, do it. We need doctors. We need lawyers. We need people that are educated. We need people that are good at customer service. We need that, like you said. But don't think that that's the only thing you're good for because your family, your friends, or society tells you that's what you're supposed to do. And yeah, that's just what I agree on, man. You made a great point. And I like that you opened up in that area, because that's why I asked that question. Like, do you feel like they look at you like you're not like you're like you haven't fulfilled your potential, or they're looking at somebody that's so smart and they probably see you know that you're smart, and they probably say, yo, if he would go to school. And I guess that's the only way that they can kind of connect somebody being successful, you know, because I'm sure that they would not celebrate you the same if you opened your own business. You know, they might not be like, oh my God, he started his own business. Oh shit. But if you had your degree, they'd be like, oh, ese tigre tiene su diploma, ese tigre es un profesional, ese sobrino mío. You know what I mean? They have an orgullo, because that's what they put value to. But shit, I saw a post the other day that said, yo, we should normalize doing a business shower when somebody starts their own business. Like, you know how you have people have baby showers? You should have a shower for people that have their business, start a business.
That'd be dope.
Bring money, bring off like something to help the whatever. Like celebrate that person because they did something like that.
Promote
and encourage them, promote their business. You know, all that shit is dope, man. Like, let's normalize these things. But it's up for us to do. It's up to us to do it. We can normalize this shit, even if it's just in our circle. We have the power to do so, man, and televise it through Instagram and all these other platforms.
We already do it for all these other people. You know, when we go to a restaurant, when we go to a resort, when we go to buy something.
When we repost one of these billionaire guys started another business. Oh shit! Look, this is available. Amazon. Hey, let's go.
I mean,
let's buy from Amazon.
Why not do it for people close? You know, for small business owners and stuff around us.
Absolutely. So with that being said, www.causeandeffectpod.com. You can get yourself a Cause and Effect podcast hoodie. You can get
will help us out a lot.
Absolutely, help us. You know, reach different levels in our podcast. No, with all jokes aside, man, www.causeandeffectpod.com. Get a hoodie. Just support the movement if you fuck with us. We have Cultura hoodies. We'll have crew necks coming up soon.
Oh, and we got some fire stuff coming out.
Yes. Yes. Fernando's gonna be modeling all the new gear. We got Jump Out as an ambassador. Shout out to him. And UDM Studios, we have an artist called Romilly dropping some fire. Pay attention to that kid. He's super beast. Jump Out, which is also part of our team. And thank you for tuning into the Cause and Effect podcast. We'll see you for the next episode. Let's get it.